Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your NFL football drafts coming up, during August, end of August, beginning of September. We're getting you ready for the football season. Each division, this is the last division in the NFC. Next is going to be the AFC. And this one is going to be on the NFC West. Tons of great teams, great stacks, great combinations you can have in this division. But before we get to that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to also share it with a friend. Someone that you know that's in fantasy football. Don't forget to do that as well. And let's get into this. All right. Starting off with the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be the first team I'm going to go over right here. And we have some new acquisitions. We have Andy Isabella. He's moved up to the slot with Larry Fitzgerald gone. DeAndre Hopkins is still there. AJ Green is there. And we have, of course, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray in year 2, he has so much upside. Finished with 37 TDs, 26 passing, 11 rushing. I'm hoping the passing TDs increase because they did struggle in that red zone area. They took a high number of field goals instead of cashing in and getting TDs. So that was a little bit of a problem right there. And also at the second half of the season, they kind of slowed down on Kyler Murray rushes in the red zone because of his shoulder injury. They were trying to protect him. And that was not saying it was concerning, but we did see a drop-off in the second half of the season with Kyler Murray and his rushes, especially in that red zone area. A target we're going to look at, obviously, is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. He finished with elite wide receiver, 173 targets, 118 completions, as we see right here on NFL Savant. This is where you're looking at. You definitely use this site if you're looking at targets who is utilized in certain situations. Right now, it's on red zone targets. I'm going to switch it off to all passing targets. And you got 118, 173, 7 TDs total. And that's a point right there. Hopkins is a 10 TD type of guy. 7 TDs only for him with a 30% target share. That number can go up. There's still more upside for DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, I spoke about the struggles in the red zone, so the numbers can increase for Hopkins. Number 2, we're going to look at AJ Green and Christian Kirk. With the acquisition of AJ Green, you can kind of facilitate him in and put him in somewhat of that Larry Fitzgerald role, which is an older wide receiver, ending his career, and he wasn't as productive with the Bengals. And then do you think he's going to usurp Christian Kirk? Obviously, right now, when you're looking at the depth chart, you're going to say AJ Green first over Christian Kirk, but the play will dictate, and I think over the long term, Christian Kirk will surpass AJ Green, and he's still a solid value to get in your fantasy football drafts. Christian Kirk currently is the wide receiver 64, absolute steal. And as you're looking at some of his numbers last year, 49 completions, 61% completion percentage, he had 6 TDs, right under DeAndre Hopkins. He was more of the deep guy. He had plenty of blow-up moments in 20-point DK games, but Christian Kirk was very explosive when he was utilized, and I think there's more upside in him, and I'd rather have him instead of AJ Green. If you're just comparing, say you just had, all right, you got AJ Green, and you literally gave him the same exact numbers as Larry Fitzgerald, it wasn't enough, and I think in the red zone area, it's definitely going to be Hopkins. It's definitely going to be a guy we're going to talk about later, which is Chase Edmonds. And Christian Kirk is going to be that deep guy that you saw last year, was very explosive. Okay? Now, let's move over to Chase Edmonds, the running back. And we're looking at red zone targets. In that red zone area, obviously, this is a guy that they didn't use much rushing in the red zone, but with the acquisition of James Conner, we already know he has a ton of injuries, a ton of problems keeps popping up for him. I still love Chase Edmonds, and he was 11 to 12 in the red zone area, 91% completion percentage, 4 TDs with a 15% target share in the red zone. So they're looking for either Hopkins, they're looking for Kirk and Edmonds. These are the top 3 guys in that red zone area. Give me the top 3 guys in this offense, and I love Chase Edmonds. I think there's upside of him going over 448 rushing yards. There's upside of him going over 53 receptions. And there is upsides for 402 receiving yards as well, and maybe 4 TDs. Hopefully, it goes above that. Maybe that 6 to 7 range. We get a bump in that. But the breakouts for the Cardinals, before I move on, is going to be Christian Kirk at wide receiver 64. It's going to be Kyler Murray currently at QB3. He's a nice value to get still. And then it's going to be Chase Edmonds at RB29. All right, let's move on to the LA Rams. We have the Rams. This is huge, huge. They got rid of Jared Goff. They bring in Matthew Stafford. This can take the whole offense to a whole nother level. Sean McVay obviously did not think Jared Goff was the guy to win them the Super Bowl. Obviously, the inefficiencies, that was a problem. The sustaining drives, a lot of overthrown balls from Jared Goff. They think that Stafford is that guy that's going to take them over and up and above and take them and hopefully win a Super Bowl. That is the idea in this move, that he was worth the risk. And it should go well. It should go well. We will see. Obviously, Stafford does have some injury problems, but he's been solid as of late, playing healthy and being very scrappy. But the key component to this offense is going to be Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. These are the two most bankable wide receivers in fantasy football. And you're just looking at it, the numbers right here. Absolutely insane. They're almost identical. Let's just go to the all passing targets for this team. Robert Woods, 92 completions, 127 yards, and 6 TDs with a 22% target share. Cooper Kupp, 93 completions, 126 targets, and a 22% target share with 3 TDs. That is absolutely insane that they're tick for tat. All right. You can't go wrong with any of them. Obviously, PPR, Cooper Kupp gets a little bit of a bump with more receptions. Robert Woods is going to be that touchdown guy, but he's been the guy that's been super, super consistent the last 3 to 4 years with production. I like him more because he's going to get more points with the TDs and yards as well. Kupp is going to get the most more receptions. All right, if you're choosing between the two, but the current ADP at wide receiver 22 for Kupp and wide receiver 19 for Woods, that should be bumped up a whole nother level because they did upgrade the QB in Matthew Stafford. Next, we're going to look at Darrell Henderson. All right. Now, this guy, I understand he's being bumped up in the average ADP all the way to that 5th, 6th round range, going around pick 60. The problem here is he struggled behind Malcolm Brown, and he had 2 seasons to get ready. They still, obviously, he had some injury problems, and Cam Akers was behind him, actually 2 people behind him, and still Cam Akers usurped both Malcolm Brown and Henderson. The talent isn't 100% there, and I don't think it's justified for where he's currently going. If he was in that round 7, round 8 range, that is totally fine. But I get it. The opportunity is there, but will he be the only guy getting all the run? And then that question isn't answered yet. You got the rest of the preseason to go through. They might sign a veteran. You don't know who other teams are going to cut, and they might acquire a running back to help in that backfield, because there still is. You don't know anything about Xavier Jones. You don't know anything about Jake Funk, who can obviously chip into Henderson's work. And he is not the same thing as Cam Akers by no means. Okay, so just be very, very vigilant on that with Henderson's current ADP at 25. If you think you're going to get a big return on that price, I doubt that. Okay, another guy we're going to look at is going to be Tyler Higbee. With Gerald Everett leaving the team, you got a ton of targets there. You got 65 targets, you got 42 completions, and a touchdown that possibly can be all absorbed by Tyler Higbee. So If I'm just getting half of those numbers, this can be a big year for Tyler Higbee. We already know Stafford likes tight ends. His connection with Hockenson last year, Higbee can be that next level up. And with obviously you got the 1-2 punch with Woods and Kupp, maybe they lean more on the passing game because Henderson is struggling, and then Tyler Higbee becomes a nice guy in the middle. All right. Some breakout guys for the LA Rams is going to be Cooper Kupp, is going to be Robert Woods, and Tyler Higbee, that is currently tight end 15. I think that's a very cheap price on him as well. Let's go over to the 49ers. We got here very dynamic players on this team. And the big component on this is going to be George Kittle coming back fully healthy. This was his previous season. Let me get to that, 2019, where he was fully healthy. And I want you to see some of these numbers, man. Some of these numbers are absolutely insane. This is 1B to Travis Kelce, 1A. We got 13 receptions, 134 yards. We got 6 for 129 in the TD. We got 8 for 103. We got 6 for 57. We got 6 for 70 in the TD. The fact that he had 85 receptions, over 1,000 yards, those are wide receiver numbers. Plus the 5 TDs. Obviously, you want more TDs, but getting this from a tight end is absolutely insane, and you got to go get him. All right, you have to go get him. So we already knocked that down. With Garoppolo coming back, they already have a connection together. And the next question is the wide receivers between Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Obviously, Deebo is going to be that yards after the catch guy, very dynamic. Brandon Ayuk bursted on the scene last year, and when they played on the team together in the same exact game, we had some, inquiring results. We had Ayuk break out just a little bit. 4 out of 6 double-digit games right here in this sample size. We got 13 DK against Philly. We got 20.5 against New England, which is a good defense. 20.5 against Buffalo, which is a good defense. And 24 DK against Washington, which is another good defense. That game, Deebo Samuel did get injured, but the proof is in the pudding, and we have some results here. Ayuk was a standout. He was a clear standout, and that's why he is currently going at ADP wide receiver 26. And Deebo Samuel's going a little bit below him, but it is justified. I understand it, and I'm not going to hate the play no more. I'm not going to hate the play. Brandon Ayuk is super athletic, has all the skills. Garoppolo just has to get the ball to him, and I'm pretty sure that in that round 4 or 5 range, Ayuk is definitely being justified at his current ADP. Next is going to be Raheem Mostert. All right, this one, as long as he's healthy, you play him. You draft him, okay? He is still the number one. I understand all the Trey Sermon love, but Kyle Shanahan is not going to give it all to the rookie. Mostert was the guy before. He's still the guy now. And as long as he's 100%, he's going to get the rock. And I think this is going to be an absolute steal to scoop him up in that round 10, 11 range. He's going even later than that. So be very mindful. I think that's a late RB to get, and you should be fine at least beginning half of the season. By the middle and the end, you'll figure out another option if things change, okay? Gotta be very vigilant on that. Next is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, and this one is all about let Russ cook. All right, he finished 6th last year, and the problem with that was they let the teams come back. They went to the running game. They didn't put the foot on the pedal and really, take it to that next level and keep putting up points. But this is a very dangerous offense. The loss, getting rid of Schottenheimer is going to be huge. The acquisition of Shane Waldron is going to be great. And you see that they have 3 wide receivers. They invested some capital into Dwayne Eskridge, and he's going to be that other outside guy. Obviously, you got DK Metcalf. You got Dwayne Eskridge, who's a big body, and you got Tyler Lockett that's going to work the middle. And I think this is a very good trio that we got right here, and definitely something that Russ Wilson can cook and go to that next level. All right, you had Lockett finish with 100 receptions, 137 targets, 1,054 yards, and 10 TDs. Metcalf had 83 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 10 TDs. You can't go wrong with this tandem as well, just like the Rams with Woods and Kupp. This one, obviously, you got to invest the high capital in DK Metcalf, but where Lockett is going, he is an absolute steal. Currently going at wide receiver 23. I think he should be bumped up in that top 20 range as well. And another guy to look at is going to be Chris Carson right here, the running back. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a top 10 running back. He missed 4 games last year, and that was the only reason why he finished RB 18 instead of top 10. There was only a 20 fantasy point difference between 18 and 10, and that was a huge proponent of why he finished at RB 18. So this is an absolute steal to grab. Where his current ADP is at RB 20, definitely go grab him. Be more aggressive on him than Henderson. And you have a very solid core here. Let me know in the comment section down below who you're really feeling. Who's your favorite stack out of all these 4 teams between the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams? There's a ton of opportunity here. Don't forget the breakouts that we got going in each and every team. We got Carson and Lockett on the Seahawks. We got Kittle and Ayuk for the 49ers. For the Cardinals, we got Christian Kirk, Chase Edmonds. And for the Rams, we got Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at metsnetsjets. And I'll be back with another video very soon. We're going to get to that AFC conference. All right, guys? Peace out.